Yeah, we are live. So today we'll start with HTML. What is HTML? Can you share me your Git repository in the chat box? What is your Git repository in the chat? Please paste the link of Git repository in the chat box. Okay. So meanwhile, let me create the day 04, and in a day 04, I can have, you can say simple.html. Simple.html. Look at the screen very carefully. Please send me your notes link in chat. I cannot access this. Which one? So this you cannot access. Can you access this or not? Git. Can you access this link? Yeah. You can access this link, right? Hello? No. So this link I have shared on the day 1. You can bookmark this link. Yes, this link I have, but last one is not. Now, if you see Git link is over here. Can you see this? So all the important links, that is Git. Okay, I will add some arrow over here. These are important links you will get to know. YouTube. This is a YouTube playlist. And these are my notes. Month stack notes, where in detail things are available. Okay. Now can you access Git or not? So this is my channel link. This is the Canva board link, right? Okay. So we have started HTML, or we are starting HTML today. So here, let me create new page. HTML5. This would be the empty page. HTML5. And we are going to talk a lot about HTML5. Right? So let's say this is the icon of HTML5. Now, in the HTML5, first we will see what is HTML5. Can you tell me what is HTML5? What is HTML5? Yeah. Say that again. Okay, that is the HTML 5th version. Absolutely correct. And okay. HTML5. So when you talk about HTML5, what exactly you are talking about? So few things you need to remember about HTML5. Whatever you see on the browser, whatever you see on the browser, all is HTML. Everything is HTML. See what I'm saying? Whenever you talk about HTML, you can consider something like this. Consider that this is one company. I can say company. This is one company, or this is one company, and this company wants to go on the internet, and consider that this company provides online shopping. Getting my point? Online shopping. So here we can say online shopping company. This is online shopping store. Now this company, how this company shares its products. Just try to understand the flow. The company would be having users, you can say. The company would be having some users. This is our user, you can say, one user. Okay. And this user is going to use one utility. This user is going to use one utility, and that utility is nothing but a browser. Here we can say this is our browser, right? So what this user will do? User will open the browser and the user will type myshopping.com. Do you agree with me or not? So this user will type in the browser myshopping.com, and then what will happen? Something will come on the browser. So when this user draws, or this user says myshopping.com, so from here the browser will connect to the online shopping computer. So let's have one more point in between, and we can say server, right? Let's consider this as a server. Let's consider this guy as a server. So what will happen? So you are connecting to this online shopping store. Means what is happening exactly? What is happening exactly? You are typing over here myshopping.com. Agree? You are typing myshopping.com. Okay. Then what's happening? myshopping.com. Something from your computer. So let's add one more thing. Computer. Browser is inside computer. Agree? So this is your browser, or this is your computer, and browser is inside the computer. Correct? Browser is inside the computer. This guy is inside the computer. So you are opening browser. You are opening browser in computer. Then this computer is getting, you are typing what you can say shopping.com. So somehow your computer knows that where is this myshopping.com, and how that thing knows? How that thing knows? How your computer knows? How your computer knows that particular thing? We can consider that part as internet. So this magic happens because of something called as internet. Correct? Now let's consider that. So this server belongs to this online shopping, and the server is connected to internet. Also your computer is connected to the internet, right? Well, I can tell you how exactly internet works. A lot of components are there, but let's not talk about that right now. We will speak only about the HTML. Okay, I'm explaining what is HTML. Remember that. To explain me something, you need to know the basic architecture is very important. Knowing the basic architecture is very important, right? Well, we can reach to the networking level also, how exactly internet is working, but let's not talk that part over here. Okay, if you want me to explain, or if you want me to record a video on that, write it in the comment box. Okay, but we'll do that separately, not as a part of this course, because that is involving a lot of networking and other stuff. But internet works in some scientific way. Remember that. Most scientific way, a most sophisticated way. If you learn how internet works, a lot of videos are already available on the YouTube. You may choose to watch them, how internet works, right? I can also explain in my style. Okay, but let's consider that your computer is connected to the internet and the online shopping server is also connected to the internet. So you are typing over here somehow, myshopping.com. So from here, from your computer, a request is traveling over the internet. It is searching for myshopping.com. It is going over here, right? And then it is again coming back with some data. So here we can say data. Let's say some kind of we can say this is our data. We can say this is our data that you are looking for. So what's happening when you say myshopping.com, something goes from your computer to the internet. From the internet it travels to the particular server myshopping.com, right? It has went over here. Then what happens? This server gives you some data back. Server gives you some data back. Remember that. And that data reaches to your computer. And remember that when you explore that data, let's zoom this data. This data is having some information. This data is having some information along with, you can say, along with HTML pages, along with one page. That page is called as HTML, right? So the thing which travels from your computer to the server is called as request. What it is called as? Request. Right? And whatever server sends you back, that thing is called as what? Response. Getting my point? Whatever server sends you back, that thing is called as response. I hope you are mentioning in your notes request and what? Request and response. Who sends the request? Your computer sends the request to the internet. It reaches to the particular server. It finds. How it finds? That is called as DNS checking. So you type here you type myshopping.com, and how internet goes to the particular server or particular computer, because internet is connected to the millions and millions of the computers, right? But from that, how it will check or how it will reach to your requested server, that is the part of working of the internet. By means of the IP address and DNS, it reaches to the particular server in very short, and it gives you one response back, and that response is having a lot of information along with some data, and that data over here is called as HTML. Presently, data can be of any type. But especially in our case right now, whatever we are understanding, what server gives you one page called as HTML, and from here what is HTML starts. So I explain all these things just to give you an idea from where HTML is coming into the picture. Why we need to learn the HTML? We need to learn the HTML because all these things happens. Getting my point? From your computer you write myshopping.com. It goes to the internet. It searches for the particular myshopping.com. It sends your requested data. Please give me this product. Please give me this mobile. Then server gives you one response back, and into that response there is a lot of information available. Along with that information, the information is presented to the user in the form of HTML, right? And that's why HTML is called as hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language. What is HTML? Yeah, hypertext markup language. So when you talk about the HTML, it's all about hypertext markup language. Now, what is hypertext markup language? We will see. Okay. So when you talk about the hypertext markup language, what do you imagine? So when you talk about the HTML, HTML is nothing but, let me write it again, hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language. Now, what is the meaning of this hypertext markup language? So we need to learn each and every word. So there is a special meaning of this hypertext. Special meaning is there to the markup, and special meaning is there to the language, and there is a meaning to this 5 also. So what we have discussed? We have discussed what is the origin of the HTML. As a web developer, why you need to know what is HTML? As a web developer, why you need to know HTML? This is how internet works, and HTML are the pages which are sent to you by the server, right? That's the point where HTML comes into the picture. Now, whatever you see on the browser, this page, this page, this page, or any of the page, or any of other page, this page, anything is considered as HTML, right? How do you do that? Just go over here, right click, inspect, or before that, right click and view page source. Right click, just a minute, right click. Okay, this is happening because, yeah, here I can go, it is selecting the elements. Actually, it is selecting the elements. Or let's go here, and here you can say right click. Here, not here as well. Just right click, and can you see view page source? Click on the view page source. And if you see over here, can you see there is something called as doc type HTML and HTML. See here, meta tag. And if you see, this whole is HTML. Everything is HTML over here. Can you see? It is starting with the HTML, and if you see here, it is ending with the HTML. Do you understand this? Hello? So whatever response sent by this Notion server, Notion, can you see notion.so? So they also have one server, they also have maintained one server, and we are requesting to their server, give me this page or open this document. And over there it is opening something like this. And if you see here, you can see this whole and soul page, which is given to you. Can you see doc type HTML? And there is HTML tag, which means that it is coming in the form of response. So one way I have shown you, right click page source, you will see the source code of the page. Also you can see right click, can you see inspect? Click on the inspect. Can you see here also you can see whole and soul source code. See head, can you see HTML? This whole is HTML. Then there is a head and then there is a body. We'll see what do you mean by head and body. But what I'm trying to show you over here, what I'm trying to show you over here is HTML. How to confirm that whatever we see on the browser is HTML? Just right click, either view page source, or you can do right click, and here you can say inspect. We are going to see this inspector in detail whenever we learn HTML, or whenever we will start working actually with the HTML and the CSS. Correct? Just try this. Just open any page. Okay, open any page, try with right click view page source. Also try right click and inspect, and let me know what happens. Hello, hello. Am I audible? Hello. Yeah. Have you tried that? Right click, view page source, or right click view page source, or you can say right click and inspect element. We are going to see inspector in detail. Okay. So HTML is a hypertext markup language. Okay, let me first download this. And we can say HTML explanation 1, HTML explanation 1. Okay. Now I will erase all these things and then we will discuss about HTML, hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language. So when you talk about hypertext markup language, you need to understand what is the meaning of hypertext, then markup, and then language. So whenever server sends the pages, one page is having link to the other page. What I'm saying? One page is having link to other page. Where is the page? You can say, let's not invest that much time and let's use this. So one page, here you can say, is having link to the other page. One page is linked with other page. So HTML stands for hypertext markup language, and into that we are understanding hypertext. The meaning of the hypertext refer to the text that contains link or the references to other pieces of text, often called as hyperlinks or simply called as links. So if you see over here, let's take the example. Can you see this is also one HTML? Hello? This page is also one HTML. And see, can you see this text, Canva board is text over here. And if I click on this text, it is taking me to the another page, hypertext. Getting my point? By these links, you navigate from one page to another page. So these things are called as hyperlinks, or these, can you see here automatically it is coming. So these things are called as hyperlinks or the links, simply links. So hypertext refers to text. Hypertext is that text which contains links or references to other pieces of the text, often called as hyperlinks or simply links. What do you do with these links? You navigate. So these links allow user to navigate between different pieces of information by clicking, right? If you see, that is automatically underlined. If it is a link that is automatically underlined, also cursor is getting changed. Can you see? The normal cursor is in this form, but this is in the pointer form. But whenever you hover over the link, it becomes the hand. Can you see? Hello? Yeah. Now, hypertext is a fundamental concept of the web, enabling users to move from one page to another page to access the different information. Okay. Now here if you can see, What do you mean by markup? A second word. We have seen what is a hypertext. One page is referring to another page. That is a hypertext. So this is an interview type question. Remember that this is an interview type question, and interviewer may ask this to you. So first thing we are understanding hypertext, markup. Now what do you mean by markup? Markup refers to a practice of adding special symbols or annotations to the text to indicate that its structure, formatting, and the meaning. In the context of HTML, markup involves specific tags. Now see. So this is one thing we have. Now markup means what? A way of formatting. Now if you see over here, to this title, I have given little faint yellow color and underline this. So this is called as markup. For this board, we are writing HTML5. And HTML5 is decorated with the yellow highlight. HTML5 is document is decorated with the yellow highlight and the blue underline. So in general, this is called as markup. In general words, in general scenarios, this is called as markup. Now, in the HTML, what is markup? Now, if you want to do something in the HTML, you need to write it in a tag. In a what? Sorry. Tag. So what is a tag? This symbol, and the and symbol, and inside this you write the content. Here you write the content. In between space is there, you write the content. Now if you go here again, inspect it. You can inspect it, and can you see here, everything is in, this is a tag, a less than sign, HTML, again this, and / HTML. This is a start tag. So you can see this is the start tag, this is the end tag, and into this you are writing its content. This is the start tag, this is the end tag, and inside this you are writing some content. Inside this you are writing some content. What is this? This is markup in the case of HTML. This is a markup in the case of HTML. So HTML, which means that if you want to make this bold, HTML title bold, there is one tag. If you want to give some underline, there is a tag. If you want to give background color, there is a tag. For everything, there is a tag. And one more thing is there, that is called as CSS. We'll see it later on, but for better understanding purpose, right now you can understand in this way. For everything, so in general context, what is markup we have seen? In general context, what is markup we have seen? In the HTML context, what is markup? Markup means same thing. If you want to give a yellow background and underline and bold HTML5, you can do that. How you can do that? By means of tags. Getting my point? So that is a hypertext markup. We have seen what is hypertext, what is markup. Now third thing, what is language? What is language? A language in the context refers to the symbols and the rules and the conventions, right? What is a language? In general, English is the language. So there are some rules. how to speak, and how to create the words, how to create the sentences, there are certain rules. Getting my point? There are certain rules, and those rules we call it as a language. English language, Hindi language, Marathi language, right? In the same fashion, HTML is also having some rules. HTML is a language used to define the structure and the content of the web documents. The documents which would be transferred from one computer to another computer. Let's add. So here I can say, just a minute, H1, Y, HTML, and into this I can add image. So I can refer this image. Yeah, so HTML is coming from here, this page. Why HTML? This. So if you want to write the HTML, it is all about the web documents. There are certain rules. Again, let's inspect it. And if you see over here, there are rules. So HTML tag you have written like this. Inside that you have written head. Inside that you have written body. Then close the tags. Then body tag, body is also closed over here. Head is also closed over here. Then some canvas is also have done over here, right? So there are certain rules. HTML uses predefined tags and attributes to specify how text and other media would be displayed. So HTML use predefined tags and attributes. So if you want to do this thing in the HTML, that is yellow background, underline, and the bold, there are certain tags. You can do this by means of tags. You can do this by means of attributes, right? And that is nothing but what the language is. That is defined over somewhere in the specification. That is the language is. Okay. I hope it's clear to you why HTML. Now, here we can say one more H1. What is HTML? What is HTML? Okay. So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is standardized markup language used to structure and present the content. See, used to structure and present the content on the www, World Wide Web. That is nothing but this internet, right? The HTML documents are the building blocks of the web pages and the web applications. These documents consist of the series of the element, each represented by the tag, and that define the structure and the content of the web page. That is the HTML is. Right? Now, why HTML? Because one server, one client, that is the user, uses browser to send the request. Just a minute. Just a minute. Yeah. Now, why HTML? So here, let's write it. Why HTML? User request, user sends the request, user sends the request, server response, and the HTML page data. This is why we are learning the HTML. The data in the server response often includes the HTML page. Hypertext markup language is used to structure and present the content of the web. That's what we have discussed, right? And same thing I am writing right now over here. So let's create the notes and let's move ahead. Okay. Now, what is HTML? We talked about what is HTML. Then before that, meaning of each word, we can say H1. Meaning of each word. Each word. That is HTML. Let's break down each component. And here we can say hypertext. First thing, hypertext. What do you mean by hypertext? Hypertext refers. Can you tell me what is hypertext? We have discussed this. Now we are preparing the notes. What is the markup? What is the hypertext? Hello? Have you written it in your notes or not? No. Markup and language. Okay. Putting it all together. See, putting it all together, hypertext markup language is a standardized system of symbols and rules used to annotate and structure the data. The way that allows for creation of the web documents with the interconnected links. Right? We have discussed this. So let me. Yeah. So this is the meaning of each word. Hypertext markup language. Very important. This is an interview type question. So experienced people also cannot answer this. Remember that. So I will pin it. So this is important. Remember that. Yeah. Now what is HTML? Now what is HTML? Hypertext markup language. And we studied everything. What is a hypertext markup language? Now, what is the basic structure? What is the basic structure of HTML? Basic structure of HTML. So here we can say how HTML looks like. How, or basic structure. Basic structure. Now, what is the basic structure? Let's go to the code. And here I can say HTML and see. What I did, I will tell you each and everything. Don't worry. But if you observe carefully, certain things appear over here. Certain things appear over here. Okay, one thing we have forgotten. What is this HTML5? Right? I will come to this point little bit later on. Right? I will just add. I will add this part over here as an intro of this page. I will come to this number 5. So we have discussed rest everything. HTML, hypertext markup language we discussed in detail. Just 5 is remaining. What is this 5? We'll talk about that. Yeah, so what is the basic structure of the HTML? If you go over here, any HTML page on the internet will look like this. Any page on the internet would be having same structure, no matter you are developing, Google developing, Microsoft developing, or anyone else is developing. HTML would be having the same structure. Now, this is a, so technically this is the first tag we have, standard tag we have. So this line says that this document is of type HTML document. What this line says? Yeah, this line says this document is of which type, because on the internet you can send MP3 also from one server to another. We can send the image also. But how do you understand, how browser will understand what type of document it is, right? And that can be done by means of this tag. So this tag specifies that this document is of type HTML. Okay. Now there is something called as HTML. So I can remove this lang en also. I can remove this lang en as well. So here let me delete this. So here you can say HTML tag, and this content is within the HTML tag. Head. So remove this. I'm removing this also right now. And the body. And inside the body, I will simply say H1. Welcome to HTML. Okay. Welcome to HTML. And I will add one more. It is hypertext markup language. It is hypertext markup language. And here we can say my first HTML. My first HTML page. Okay. So you have doc type, we discussed this, and see basic HTML structure. In every page, you will find the head tag, you will find body tag, you will find HTML start tag, end tag, and this doc type. This is the basic structure. This is what? Basic structure. So inside head, there is one more tag. That is nothing but what? Title. Now there is a meaning to the title. Now inside body tag, there are few more tags like H1 and the paragraph. Now see, markup language. H1 means what? Heading 1. Now what I will do, I will open this, open it, or you can go to our folder, reveal in the finder, and just open it in the browser. Now if you see here, you can copy the full path. Can you see full path? See users, Aniruddha, desktop, the folder name, day04 and simple.html, and hit the enter. Can you see welcome to HTML here, and it is a hypertext markup language. And can you see here my first HTML page, my first HTML page. Can you see this? This is the title. So what is the title? This title means what? The page title which comes over here. Body means what? Body. So H1 stands for, can you see little bit bigger text? Heading 1. H1 stands for heading 1. P stands for paragraph. Now see how markup is there. If you want to define the paragraph, there is a P tag. If you want to define heading 1, there is a H1 tag. If you want to define the paragraph, there is a P tag. If you want to define the H1 or heading, there is a H1 tag. So this content might be changing over the period of time. Whenever we learn HTML in detail, this content would be getting changed. Remember that. But rest of the things, so this title may also be different. But rest of the things would be generally same. Few more things would be getting added that we will see about the scripts and the CSS that we will see later on. But this is in general overall HTML structure. Hello? This is in general overall HTML structure. Right. So head tag, body tag, we are going to discuss these tags in detail, but here we are simply discussing a basic structure. So I'll go to our notebook and here we can say code and I can paste it, and type of this is HTML5. Yeah, so this document, so this is the basic structure, right? So an HTML document is having this specific structure. HTML document has specific structure consisting of an opening doc type declaration, an HTML element that contains head, body, and here how it looks, something like this. Now important concepts, we can say here H2, and important concepts, So first we can say tags, then we can say elements, then attributes, then nesting of the tags, text content, links and URLs, right, and images. Your HTML page can have these many things. Okay. Now, what do you mean by tags? See here. HTML uses tags to define the element like this, right? Tags are enclosed within the angle brackets and they come in the pairs, an opening and the closing tag. The document between the opening and the closing tag defines elements content. For example, H1. We have seen that. An HTML, see here. What do you mean by element? We have discussed all these things, right? Just preparing the notes. An HTML element consists of opening tag, content, and the closing tag. Opening tag, content, and the closing tag. What is a tag? Between the angle brackets. Now, what is the attribute? You don't know these attributes. What do you mean by this attribute? Now, see here, every tag can have attributes. We will see that attributes. Okay. Let's do one thing. And these things we might not need right now. and tags can be nested. One tag elements can be nested within the other elements. So here, like this, and the nesting. Correct? Important concept. What do you mean by tags, elements, attributes, nesting? Correct? Yeah. So attribute is something which comes with the tag. We'll see that, don't worry. But these things are important if you want to study the HTML. Please go through this and ask me the questions if you have any. I have written everything in the notes. Go through the notes in 2 minutes. Done? Okay. Now I will push this HTML. You need to try a basic HTML. So see, I'm giving a proper comment here. Commit message needs to be given a proper HTML basic structure. And I have pushed the code. You may check it on the Git. Please check it on the Git. And try to type the code. And let me know, and open that page in the browser address bar. Give a full path of that page in the browser address bar. You should see something like this. Well, here I will add h1 tag, and here I can say this is HTML5 or welcome to the HTML5 ML5 paragraph. It is hyper text markup language. Again, I will push this HTML5 added content. Can you see my Git repository on your computer? Okay, now type the code. Yeah, in the day 4. It is in the day 4 simple.html. Type it. Open the VS Code. So in the VS Code, can you see yesterday's the folder we have created yesterday, right? Git folder. That folder I have opened over here, and into that I created day 4. If you have any questions, let me know. Did you say something? Hello? Have you typed it or not? Completed? Is it opening in the browser? Yeah. Page, right click, open in browser. If you want to share the screen, you can share as well. Okay, save it. Make a habit of saving. Yeah, right click. No. Okay. On the file, go to the, no, just a minute. Day 4, I have created as a folder. Can you open my Git repository? Go to the browser. Go to the browser. Yeah, open my Git repository. Yeah, not there. Go to the repository. Back. Click on the back. Yeah, again, one more back. Yeah, now see. Click on the day 4 over here. Day 4. Yeah, can you see? Inside the day 4, first I have created a folder called as day 4. And then first I have created a folder called as day 4. And inside the folder, I created simple.html. Now click on the simple.html. Yeah, here you can see the code. This is how you will view the repository. Now do the same thing. First delete your day 4 file, delete it, and create the folder first. No, not here. Go to the project explorer, first icon, and delete from here. Yeah, now create new folder. Folder, second icon. So escape, press the escape now. Right, now it is correct. Now type day 4. Yeah, correct. Your folder name should not have the spaces. After the day, I think you have given the space. No space, just day hyphen 04. D can be small, D can be small. Yeah, enter. Done or not? Don't copy paste. Yeah, you need to type it. See my code first. See, line by line, you need to type it. For a few days, for a few days, you will just copy me as it is. Can you see? Automatically it closes the tag. Done or not? Okay. Now open this page in the browser. First go to the folder on the desktop. Go to the desktop first. Desktop. Yeah, there is a no, no. Close it. Close it. There is a desktop icon. Yeah, web develop, right? Which second one or first one? Yeah. Now day 04. Right click, open in the browser. Open with Chrome browser. Yeah, can you see this? Hypertext markup language. Now push the code. Push the code to the Git. Okay, check it on the Git, pushed or not. Yeah, check it. Okay. Now see, you are following me till pushing the code to the Git. So this is the basic structure of the HTML. This is the basic structure of the HTML, which is composed of tags. Can you see my screen? Which is composed of tags. Yeah. So basic structure is composed of tags, elements, attributes, and elements can be nested. And elements can be what? Nested. Correct? Now, what's next? So we are going to see some tags, but that we will do tomorrow. Now, what is HTML5? So this is about the normal HTML. Now it's time to learn what is HTML5. What is HTML5? This is the 5th revision. Remember that. HTML5. Just a minute. This is the 5th revision. Here. HTML5 is the 5th iteration or revision of the hypertext markup language, a fundamental standard employed to structure and exhibit the content on the internet. It serves as the fundamental technology for crafting and fashioning the websites, right? And the web application. HTML5 evolution was geared towards augmenting potential of the web, facilitating the construction of the content that is notably more dynamic, iterative, replete with the multimedia elements. Okay, this is important. So when you talk about the hello, yeah, you can't see my screen. Can you see my screen? Okay. Now, HTML5. Some key features of the HTML5. Here we can say some key features of the HTML5 include new semantic tags. We are going to see this. Semantic tags, multimedia elements. multimedia element, canvas, multimedia element, canvas, form enhancements, right? Web storage, a little database in the browser, geolocation. Have you observed that your browser sometimes asks you to get the location, right? So that is the feature of HTML5. Remember that what is HTML5? Is the 5th revision. Web workers and responsive web design. And what? Responsive web design. So when you talk about HTML5, remember that this is a 5th revision and which supports new semantic tags. Now, what do you mean by semantic tags? How exactly that works, right? Let me add it. So HTML5 has, tomorrow we are going to see this actually. Let us see this thing tomorrow and then we will prepare the notes. But as far as HTML5 is concerned, you can consider these are the features. This is the 5th revision and these are the tags. Now what are the HTML tags? We will type it tomorrow. Okay, we will write that code tomorrow. Fine. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask me. Otherwise we are good to conclude today's session and we'll meet tomorrow. Say that again. Yeah, you can practice, no problem. Anything you can practice. But some HTML5 tags we will see tomorrow. And once we learn the CSS3, you would be having a lot of work to practice, right? I would be start assigning some homework to you because presently on this much content we cannot give any homework. You cannot build something that is having value. Once you learn the CSS3, you can build some structure that is having correct value. And once you learn the JavaScript, it will have more value, right? But let's go slow by slow. Read the content as much as possible. And you can ask me any queries tomorrow morning. Fine? Yeah. Thank you. Let's call it for a day. We'll meet tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. sharp. Yeah. Thank you. I'm disconnecting.